All right, we are live. We're talking about PFL 2021 number 4. It's Pettis versus Martinez in that main event. Releasing these predictions out a bit early. I wanted to get them out before the week comes up, especially with the odds being released by DraftKings so early. I said, today is the day. So we're going to be going over the full card for next week's PFL event. Really looking forward to it. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel too if you guys are new here. And we're going to start it off from the first fight of the night all the way up to that Anthony Pettis main event, which I don't really think is deserving after Clay Collard beat him. And if you look down here, Clay Collard's in the second fight of the night. So, I don't know, a little bit strange how PFL does it. I guess it's not necessarily about who won. It's about the name value at the top. But this fight here, Lance the Party Palmer, champion in 2019, coming off a loss to Bubba Jenkins. Other side, Jesse Stirn, making his PFL debut here, coming in against the top guy. I mean, yeah, he did lose to Bubba Jenkins, but prior to that, I mean, he was the top guy over in the PFL. This matchup here on the side of Stirn, I believe he has a pretty well-rounded generalist type game. Doesn't have any strong backgrounds in any specific martial arts. Does have some decent footwork and definitely not much of a knockout artist. 1 win by knockout, 5 submissions. Lost to Pat Sabatini by submission fairly recently, just 2 fights ago. On the other side, Lance Palmer, southpaw, as I mentioned, the former champion. He's got some solid kickboxing skills, but the wrestling is where his game is at its absolute best. Very strong from that top position. He's going to get on top of Jesse Stirn. He's going to control, and he's eventually going to get to the back and get a rear naked choke. I'm going submission, round number 2 for Lance Palmer in this matchup with Jesse Stirn. Now, odds for this fight, Jesse Stirn and Lance Palmer. Let me make sure I'm not completely covering the screen there. No, you guys can't even see the odds there. Jesse Stirn and Lance Palmer, minus 1,000 for Lance Palmer. Wow, that's wide. To Jesse Stirn at plus 550. It's not even close. That's extremely widespread odds for that fight right there. Lance Palmer, though, understandably so. Maybe the prop for submission when it comes out. When the props come out, we will be doing the best bets video for the PFL, but props not out right now. So from what we can see, that minus 1,000 price tag is probably going to be a pass realistically for a straight bet unless you're throwing down some serious amount of money. But yeah, Lance Palmer should absolutely destroy against Jesse Stirn. And what's going on, Wildlife, in the live chat, my guy? Second fight on this card, and I think this card's a good one. This shouldn't be the second fight because Clay Collard deserves to be on a much higher slot, but it's PFL. I'm not the guy setting these cards up. Clay, Jolton Lutterbach. If you didn't see Lutterbach, he fought Mikhail on the prelims a couple cards ago in the PFL to start it off this season. Lost that fight. He was actually a pretty decent size favorite, but watching that fight, see why he lost, see why I think he's going to lose here. Lutterbach fights very tall and rangy. Lead hand a bit low. Definitely has like a karate-esque background. Stands a little bit similar to that. But man, the chin is up so high. This guy is just asking to be knocked out by a hard puncher. He got hit a bit by Mikhail, but not a finisher, really, Mikhail. He's more of a decision guy. He's not a KO artist. This guy's head, Jolton Lutterbach, is completely stationary. On the other side, you have a guy who's knocking out fighters in boxing, a professional boxer. 9-4-3 as a pro boxer, not a terrible boxer. Beat some guys he wasn't expected to beat. Orthodox stance, really good striker. That's what I think of Clay Collard. In pro boxing, he wasn't great, but his boxing and MMA is fantastic. His kickboxing skill set is very good too. His low kicks are nasty. His hands are super fast. The combo punching, he beat up Anthony Pettis, and that to me was a very good performance because he beat him striking. I really think Clay Collard is a serious problem in this tournament, and I think that he knocks out Jolton Lutterbach in the first round, and it's, I don't think, going to be any bit close. I don't think Lutterbach offers anything on the feet, and I think Collard, don't be fooled by him boxing professionally. The guy is a well-rounded mixed martial artist. Clay Collard is going to win this fight, and he's going to win it dominantly, maybe easily. Lutterbach completely outclassed. Knockout, round number 1 for Clay Collard. Let's find the odds for this matchup, and I'll also make sure you guys can see them up on the screen there. Yeah, you guys can. All right, perfect. Clay Collard, minus 230. Jolton Lutterbach, plus 175. I think at minus 230, that's actually really not a bad price tag. Collard could be a bigger favorite. I think the prop bet Collard knockout is going to have value here. It's not out yet. Hopefully, it's in the green, in the plus money. We'll throw a little bit something at it, but we'll talk about that on the best bets video. But right now, the straight Collard bet is still a good one. He definitely beats the hell out of Jolton Lutterbach. Knockout, round number 1. Next fight on this card, Natan Schulte versus Mikhail Odintsov. Lightweight division battle here on the side of Natan Schulte. I mean, he was probably favored to win. He ends up losing to Marcin, but Held, very difficult fighter to deal with. Akhmed Aliev beats Mikhail Odintsov, out-wrestled him, even though Odintsov was kind of expected to be the wrestler out there. Didn't happen. We saw Aliev beat him fairly handily with the grappling on the feet. I mean, definitely some decent striking from Mikhail Odintsov. He does look to use the clinch to set up his strikes. Will also shoot for takedowns. As I said, he wants to wrestle as well. But against the better guys on the ground, I think he's going to end up losing. Natan Schulte, good guy on the ground, very skilled on the ground. Boxing skill set, I'd call it mediocre. He's a 2019 champion. His grappling is his bread and butter, and also he does have some decent enough leg kicks, but he wants to be on the ground, and he should get the fight to the ground. I think he will. Lots of forward pressure. He's constantly trying to put you against the cage, look to get on top, look for submissions from the top position. I think Natan Schulte is going to win this fight, and I think he does it with a vengeance because he wants to come back with a victory. Second round submission. I think he knows he needs a finish here to get into the playoffs. You go out and get 3 points. You might not be going into the playoffs in the PFL. So I'm thinking Schulte gets himself a submission win over Mikhail Odintsov. Let's get to the next fight. Next fight on this card, the undercard, which is a damn good one. We move up. Marcin held Oliver Aubin-Mercier. This is an excellent co-main event. This is a really good one. Like, I'm actually very impressed with that. And actually, we do got to pull up the Natan Schulte odds before we leave that fight. Minus 335 is Schulte. Odintsov plus 240. Super widespread. Yeah, I think Schulte is going to win dominantly. More of a parlay play. I think Odintsov doesn't really offer much knockout threat either, which definitely gives me even more confidence in Schulte. But let's move up to the next fight. Marcin held Oliver Aubin-Mercier. I actually think this is a pretty good matchup here because Aubin-Mercier has always been known as a pretty good grappler, a guy that's not easy to put on his back. On the other side, Marcin held very dangerous with his submissions, but what has he done? At least to me, when I saw that fight against Schulte, the last one, in the first round, that striking looked excellent. The boxing is crisp now. He's definitely improved his striking tenfold. He's got some pretty good multi-punch combinations with the hands. He's really good from the inside with the boxing, decent from the mid-range, will chop the low kicks as well. He's a high-volume fighter, but gas tank. Not his best attribute by any means. The guy kind of does gas a bit. On the other side, Aubin-Mercier, on the feet, he is a pretty decent striker. He's not awful. He's tricky sometimes being a southpaw. Has that nasty left leg body kick that could end up landing and hurting some fighters. He's physically strong too. I do believe the better hands of Held are going to win him this fight because I feel like the grappling kind of cancels one another out, and I see Held outstriking Mercier, winning this fight by a decision over the course of the 3 rounds. So I am riding with Marcin Held over Oliver Aubin-Mercier. We can see the odds here. Held minus 159, Aubin-Mercier plus 125. They might go the way of Aubin-Mercier, and maybe you can get Held as a dog sometime later in the week. We'll see how they line up over the next few days, but definitely value in Held here, and I see him winning the fight over Oliver Aubin-Mercier. Let's move up to the next fight of the night. Akhmed Aliev and Loik Radzhabov. Ooh, I like this matchup. We almost lost the picture there. All right, we're still in it. We're good. I feel like Loik Radzhabov got completely robbed against Alex Martinez, who's fighting in the main event. Like, that fight was terrible scoring. I don't know how you score that fight for Alex Martinez. I think that was awful. So Loik should have points, but he doesn't. He's fighting Akhmed Aliev, who won, a fight against Mikhail Odintsov, who's fighting earlier on in the night. Was able to out-grapple Mikhail Odintsov, the wrestler. But let's talk about this matchup in just a moment. Stylistically, Loik is going to be looking to wrestle and wrestle often. He is the 2019 runner-up. So, I mean, the guy does have a proven skill set. He's got that heavy grappling style. He is going to look for takedowns, body lock trips, and just get you to the ground, try to move to dominant position. He'll grind out a win. He's a grinder. On the other side, Akhmed Aliev, he's also really good with his wrestling, and he's got some slams, but more of a striker. He's a better striker at the very least. He's pretty quick with the kickboxing skill set. His jab is pretty nice to the head, to the body. Hands overall, this guy has fluid hands. Akhmed Aliev is going to win this fight. He's going to defend off the takedowns of Loik Radzhabov, and I think he ends up winning the bout, probably outstriking him, maybe a bit of grappling exchanges and being forced against the cage, and I do think Akhmed Aliev will end up even getting some advantages. I think he wins this fight on a decision, so I will be riding with Akhmed Aliev. Loik Radzhabov, though, not an easy matchup by any means, but I still feel that Akhmed Aliev, the more versatile skill set and good enough defensive grappling, he beats Loik Radzhabov here. Let's find the odds for this matchup. Loik Radzhabov plus 145. Akhmed Aliev minus 190. Interesting that they're really in favor of Akhmed. The bookmakers are seeing the maybe more versatile skill set that I'm seeing there. So makes sense he's the favorite, I guess, especially with Loik coming off a loss, even though he definitely won that fight against Alex Martinez. But yeah, Akhmed Aliev to win this bout. I think he does so by a decision here. Let's get to the next of the prelims. We got lots of prelims here. This next one, Movlid Khaybulaev versus Sheymon Moraes. Moraes recently getting knocked out badly against Brendan Loughnane. In the UFC, he got knocked out against Philly. I mean, this guy's getting knocked out left and right. To me, Sheymon Moraes is in a rough spot. You fight him, 5 weeks? He fought 5 weeks ago, and he's fighting next week, so he's going to be 6 weeks out from getting completely dropped and badly stunned to come in and fight a guy who thankfully is not much of a striker, is going to be looking to put him on the ground and beat the hell out of him. I mean, this guy is a dangerous wrestler. The top control style, I mean, he trains with the Eagle MMA Academy, so at the end of the day, this guy is a dangerous top pressure heavy grappler. He's going to beat you up on the ground. He's going to win 10-8s, 10-7 rounds. I mean, the guy's going to completely shut out Sheymon Moraes. On the feet, Moraes dangerous. Thai-style striker. Lots of power strikes, but bit chinny at this point, I do feel like. He has been knocked out a few times, and if you hit him clean, you can't hurt him. Does throw a lot of massive hooks, which is why he ends up getting knocked out, because he's a bit out of position. In this fight here, it won't be on the feet. Movlid Khaybulaev is going to put him on the ground and beat him down, ground and pound. I think he might survive the first round or get stopped towards the end. I'm going to say late first round TKO from Movlid Khaybulaev, but I could see it also going into the second round. But Movlid is going to be running over Sheymon Moraes, and he's going to get himself a TKO win in this matchup. Odds for this fight: Movlid minus 360 favorite, Sheymon Moraes plus 260 dog. If Movlid gets caught by some fluky punch, that's really the only way I can see this going Sheymon Moraes' way. He's not going to match up well at all stylistically. So I am going with a dominant performance by Movlid Khaybulaev, TKO, round 1. Could also be round 2, but really leaning that round 1. All right, let's get to the featured prelim bout. If you guys haven't yet, smash that like button. I'm also going to check up on that live chat as well. Hey, shout out to you in the Philippines too, pal. Hey, man, I'm glad that you've won some big money, man, and I appreciate all you guys too, man. I do it because we got the people tuning in, enjoying the show, and I love to give my knowledge out there to the world and my opinion too. So thank you for tuning in, man. But yeah, let's get to this fight. Featured prelim bout. This is an intriguing fight because Arman Ospanov is a guy that's recently signed, prospect from outside, coming from Kazakhstan. This guy's also got a devastating knockout, the last one, flying knee. I mean, the guy's a dangerous fighter. Rather, that was 2 fights ago, but he is coming off a big knockout win in the last fight. On the other side, Chris Wade, I mean, I kind of thought he could have lost to Anthony Desai. I feel like Desai was controlling him on the ground, but I know the scoring is different in PFL, so I guess that's why the fight was given to Chris Wade against Anthony Desai. But I don't know. I don't think that was the right decision. Now, stylistically, Odintsov, southpaw striker, pretty solid striking skill set, a lot of lateral movement, a ton of it. He doesn't really stop moving. He's in and out, left and right. He does rip some nice low kicks, good from the kickboxing range, and actually does have some explosive kicks, and his hips are pretty fast. Also dangerous flying knee. Does have a flying knee knockout. On the other side, I don't think Chris Wade is as good of a striker, but he does like to strike, and he lets it go. He'll throw flying knees as well. He will come close too much sometimes and stifle his punches. The chin is also a bit high, questionable gas tank. He's going to look to get the fight to the ground. That's his style. I am worried for Arman to be put on his back because I feel like on the feet, Wade is going to be at a disadvantage. This is Arman's striking fight. But as soon as the fight hits the floor, I'm thinking Chris Wade is going to give him difficulty. I'm very nervous with this fight. You know, my heart wants to say Arman Odintsov is going to knock him out, but I just have this bad feeling that Chris Wade is going to use a grappling heavy approach, put him against the cage, control him, take him down, lay prey. It might not be pretty, it might not be entertaining at all because Chris Wade can be boring. I'm going Chris Wade by a decision, and I hate saying that, but it is what it is. But there's going to be value in an Arman Odintsov TKO play, potentially. If the plus money is at 250 or more, I think we're talking some value there. We'll talk about it when it's released. Not out right now, but as of right now, the plus 125 dog possibility, but I'm not playing him at plus 125. I got Chris Wade winning the fight by a decision here. I got to go with my gut here. Now, next fight on the card brings us to the main card. This is an exciting fight at 145. I'm actually really hyped to see how Brendan Loughnane and Tyler Diamond goes because both are hot prospects. Both are skilled fighters now entering their true prime, 31 and 30. Tyler Diamond, Ultimate Fighter veteran, wrestler, a good wrestler at that. The guy has improved his striking game. At one point, Tyler Diamond's striking was not too good. It's not great now. It's still a bit stiff, but the wrestling threat allows him to open up with more punches and kicks. He does let the hands go pretty well in that close range, and he does rip the low kicks as well. Striking game's gotten better, for sure. But the wrestling is wide. The threat of the wrestling is a problem for a lot of strikers. I mean, Brendan Loughnane is going to be forced to wrestle a bit here. He's a really precise striker, Loughnane. Nasty leg kicks. He does have more of a pressure striking style, but he stays at that mid to long range. He'll move you back, and then he'll also back out a bit and then throw his strikes. I really like what I see from Loughnane. I find him really entertaining. I'm a fan of the style. I think there's so much potential here with him. His range management is excellent, and I feel like that is going to win him the fight. I believe he could be put on his back a bit. I think he finds a way up. I do think he defends a lot of takedowns. And I think Brendan Loughnane knocks out Tyler Diamond in the third round. I'm going Loughnane in this fight. But Tyler Diamond is a very tricky matchup because of the wrestling skill set that he brings to the table. It's going to be something to potentially worry about, but the length advantage of Loughnane is what gives me the confidence in him to win the fight. So I'm going Loughnane to win, and I think he gets the knockout. Let's see what the odds are. Loughnane is a minus 250. Diamond plus 188. They should not be that wide. They should not be that wide. That is a complete fucking disrespect to Tyler Diamond because Diamond has the wrestling threat. Even though Loughnane is very good and I'm picking him to win, I acknowledge that wrestling game of Tyler Diamond. So at minus 250, not playing Loughnane. We'll see how it looks later on as the fight gets closer. But right now at minus 250, no, it's a no for me because of that wrestling threat for now. But I'm going third round knockout as the prediction here. Now, a lot of people probably tuned in to see what's up with this fight. Claressa Shields, the boxing champion, 2-weight division unified versus a 3-6 Brittney Elkins, who is essentially a bum MMA fighter, and that's no disrespect to her. She's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt, 71-inch reach, 5'11", so she's taller and longer, better on the ground without a doubt, but striking too square of a stance, not a lot of power, kind of just throws arm straight punches. On the other side, Claressa Shields is an excellent boxer. I mean, technically, she's so good at what she does. I mean, she lets the hands fly nicely inside, ferocious puncher, has some nasty hooks. Granted, in boxing, isn't going out there and getting a lot of knockouts, just has 2 of her wins by knockout, but that's because the gloves are so big. I think with the MMA gloves, she can get knockouts. In this fight with Elkin, this fight goes probably one or two ways. Shields with a knockout in 45 seconds, or Elkin finding a way to get to Claressa Shields' back and choking her out. I have a bad feeling that Elkin is going to win this fight by submission in the first round. Because Claressa Shields is making her MMA debut, there's nothing on her. I am going to ride Brittney Elkin. I would not bet for Claressa Shields. I'd rather throw money on the dog here. I am doing a true dog or pass here. I'm going Elkin. I'm going with the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu brown belt over the boxing champion here. Even though I totally acknowledge if Claressa Shields is even simply competent to defend takedowns at a mediocre level, she should beat Brittney Elkin. But I just fear that she won't be. I don't know. I feel like not enough time yet. There has not been enough time, and to go out there and think she's going to win this fight, I don't know. I think it's easy to pick a 3-6 fighter. I think Elkin definitely will have quit in her. So we'll see, I guess, when they go to the face-offs and whatnot. But dog or pass the bet. I'm going to pick the MMA fighter here reluctantly. Get Claressa Shields a win. Let's get Claressa Shields to knock this girl out. I want to see Claressa Shields knock out Brittney Elkin, but I think that we're going to see Elkin somehow find a way to get a submission. That's my prediction here, but I hope I am damn wrong and way off with this matchup, and I hope that Claressa Shields sleeps her. As far as the odds, Shields strong favorite, and the odds, I guess, also push you away because I am not going to be betting a minus 670 Claressa Shields. Plus 425, I'd much rather play. I don't know. I think this fight is one of those fights you truly can't predict. I'll throw something out there, but when the cage door closes, it's excellent boxer versus MMA fighter. If the MMA fighter can get her to the ground, and if Claressa Shields, which she probably doesn't have that much grappling skill, could be a loss for a tricky fight, weird fight. I don't know. I'm going with Elkin, but it's the weirdest fight ever. We have no idea what Claressa Shields can offer as far as anything outside of punching. This fight here, Bubba Jenkins versus Bobby Moffett. I'm excited to see this fight here. Bubba Jenkins, I mean, what an upset to go out there and win against Lance Palmer, the longtime reigning top fighter in the PFL. He beats him, out-wrestles him. Bobby Moffett on the other side, fluid kickboxer, good head movement. He does just have a lot of movement in general and solid hooks on the inside, but Bobby Moffett's in trouble. I think Bobby Moffett is going to be put on his back and grinded out. It's going to be top pressure all night long. If Moffett can avoid the takedown and land strikes on the feet, that could definitely win him the fight. But I feel like we are going to see Bubba Jenkins find a way on top with a grinding style wrestling attack. I feel like that wins him the fight here. I do acknowledge, though, Jenkins, he has been put to sleep before. If he gets caught by something, there's definitely a possibility. I mean, the fight game is a wild one, and it's not like Bubba Jenkins hasn't been put out. So I wouldn't say absolute lock, throw money at Bubba Jenkins, but I do think he wins here. Minus 305, though, so widespread, it's very unattractive to play. Plus 225, Bobby Moffett, that's a bit better, but I don't really love the play on Moffett. We'll see later on in the week. We'll see when the odds shift a bit, when the best bets come out. But right now, I'm riding Bubba Jenkins to win this fight. I'm taking him by a unanimous decision, and I think it's a grinding, probably boring wrestling style fight where there's not a ton of work from the top position, but rather just control. Now, this main event Alex Martinez, Showtime Pettis. And if you guys haven't yet, smash that like button. If you guys are new to the channel, subscribe here too, covering all things MMA, PFL, releasing these predictions out, I think, like about a little bit over a week before the fight. So we got some time. We'll be covering more of the event as we get closer. This fight right here, though, is Anthony Showtime Pettis and Alex Martinez. Martinez, absolute terrible controversial decision in the last fight against Loik Radzhabov. I don't think he won that fight. Pettis loses his last fight to Clay Collard, a fight that was probably thought of to be more of a showcase bout, but Clay Collard turned out to be a real savage and got the upset there. On the side of Martinez, athletic striker. The kid does have a very extensive amateur MMA background. His kicks are pretty decent. On the ground, he's not bad. I mean, he did put Loik Radzhabov in a few decent positions, had a guillotine choke at one point, but wasn't able to finish. On the other side, Anthony Pettis, dynamic and explosive striker. When he's on his game, his kickboxing is some of the best in mixed martial arts. He's lightning fast. His jiu-jitsu is super dangerous, but he's almost 35. He hasn't looked great in a number of years. He's fighting an undefeated fighter. It's going to be difficult to beat this undefeated guy. Without a doubt, he is coming to win. Will Pettis break? My biggest fear is, will Pettis break on us? We've seen him break numerous times, and that's what gets me so nervous about Anthony Pettis. Like, even if you have all the skills to win, mentally he breaks. Something gives out in him. But let's check the odds before we give the prediction on this one. Pettis, minus 250. Martinez, plus 188. I'm trying to think of ways Martinez could win. I don't think he has the dynamic striking to really hurt Pettis the way Clay Collard did. I don't think he has the wrestling to put Pettis to the ground, control him, and grind out a grappling style victory. I feel like he's not going to beat Anthony Pettis. I'm going to pick Pettis. Nervous? Yes. Worrisome? Yes. Is Anthony Pettis a guy that's let us down numerous times? Yes. But we're riding with Anthony Pettis to win this fight, and I think he does so. I'm feeling like we're going to see a knockout. I'm feeling like he's going to put Alex Martinez to sleep in that second round, and this is going to be a showcase fight for Showtime Anthony Pettis. I'm picking him, but I am nervous. This is a tricky fight. Overall, this card has some really intriguing matchups. The odds early on right now, I don't like how they're looking for a lot of the fights, like too widespread. But throughout it, if I had to give this card a rate, I mean, the matchups are excellent, but the actual placements on the card are just strange to me. I mean, I feel like there's more interest in Clay Collard than even Bubba Jenkins at this point. I think Clay Collard's got to find a way. Hopefully they throw him on the main card. Claressa Shields, Brittney Elkin. I don't know what's going to go on with that freak show fight. Sure, I throw that prediction of Elkin down, but who the hell knows? I mean, it's boxing versus really bad MMA, but could still get a submission. I don't know. That's just a really weird fight. But I'm excited to see Aubin-Mercier back. There's a lot of fights that have me pretty excited on this card. I actually think that the PFL has some good talent, and the cards are deep. And for some reason, I think the prelims just live up to the expectations because the prelims have all the best guys in the PFL. I'm really curious who has the better champions, PFL or Bellator. I don't know. One day I do hope we can maybe see them somehow do a cross-promotion fight because I would be interested in it. Granted, business-wise, with Bellator moving to Showtime, probably never going to happen, but I'd be open to it. Now, parlays to play. We'll throw a couple at you while we're hanging out here. I'll also check up on that live chat as well. Yeah, hey, man, we're doing the late night show, man. This is the late night show. I'm up late. I'm here. So, granted, what time zone you're watching, or if you're watching on replay, then the time really doesn't apply to you here. Yeah, Brendan is a monster, man. I thought he should have got that UFC contract, but they screwed him out of it. A lot of dope fights. I agree. You said it right, man. This is dope card. Fade Pettis. Oh, absolutely, dude. Yeah, Collard's a money play, but I wouldn't throw down on Pettis at this point. So if you're asking me what is a parlay, because this is the parlay time, it's very early. The odds are what they are. Let's see who I feel I want here. I feel like Collard is a guy that I believe in, especially in this matchup against the chin high up in the air of Lutterbach. I don't know how he still has that habit. It's not a good one. I like playing with him. Who else could I maybe play on the line with him? this is a little nerve-wracking and dangerous here, but I feel like Movlid. Now I'm at minus 120. It's not terrible, but it's definitely not great. Do we throw Bubba? But I don't like the minus 300 at all. I have to throw somebody. I'll go Loughnane plus 157. I don't think this is a card that you really want to do too many crazy plays, like as far as parlays, because I think there's so many competitive matchups. It's who makes a mistake first. It's going to be down to extremely small things, because these are not like the mismatches you see, in boxing. This is this is not even like the mismatches you see in Bellator, I should say. This is all competitive matchups, and everybody here is fighting, dreaming, and really clawing towards that $1 million chance. I really love how the PFL does these $1 million tournaments. I love how they do the regular season, and then you earn your way to that $1 million. Like, that's amazing. $1 million to make from fighting. This gives fighters some serious opportunities. I'm a big fan of the PFL's mindset here. As far as outside of the 3-fight parlay, if you're like really forcing me to give you somebody, I really have to. All right, I have to give you somebody. We'll go with Natan Schulte. So, Schulte, Loughnane, Khaybulaev, Collard, plus 233, but it does get me nervous. It absolutely gets me nervous here, because some dog is going to hit throughout the night. So, you just hope that your parlay doesn't get crushed by one of these dogs. There's definitely some live dogs. If I had to tell you the live dogs of the night, and I just might as well go through them, Loik, Radzhabov, and Akhmed, Aliev. Loik is live. Without a doubt, I think Moffett's more live than the odds have it by a good amount. Even Alex Martinez is going to be live. Arman Odintsov, he could be pretty live as well. A lot of these fights are live. Tyler Diamond is super live. That's why seeing this price tag on the Tyler Diamond Loughnane fight, to me, didn't make much sense. But it is what it is. Overall, though, I think this right here is the long shot. Is this 4-fight parlay? I think that's going to be it. As far as prop bets, nothing released right now, so I can't give you guys any of the props that I would potentially play. But make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and tune in to the best bets video for the PFL. When the props are released, I will be going into a deep dive of the betting odds, and I do it for the UFC, Bellator as well. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you tune in. Subscribe to the channel if you guys have not already. Make sure you guys smash that like button too. Throughout this card, I think we're in store for a ton of action. I hope you guys enjoyed the PFL full card predictions and the betting preview. We'll be talking about this card a lot more as the next coming days come, and I cannot wait to really get into the bets, because I do think there's going to be some fun prop bets that we really can cash on. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in. That is pretty much it for the live stream. Smash that like button. Goal on this video, we're going for 100 likes. It's posted early enough. I think we can pull it off. Thank you guys all so much, and I will see you all in the next video.